Baby, won't you look at me just one more time?
Not all action shonen battle manga start off with action. Some of them decide to start off with a different route, and we can't all start with rogue ninjas getting beaten up by the main protagonist, or a hysterical clown who appears back in 400 or 500 chapters, or going to a society that's considered heaven to go and rescue your friend. So Hitman Reborn starts off with a lot of comedies in the way to introduce his characters, and different mangakas decide different styles to start off their mangas because they have different tastes. So anyway, this is going to be my review for Hitman Reborn, the daily life arc. One thing I have to state before I begin this review is that the daily life arc in the anime and the manga sort of differ because they're set up differently. In the manga, the first 61 chapters, which is 7 or 8 volumes, is the daily life arc. But in the anime, the first 19 episodes of the daily life arc, and then we go on to the Kikoyo arc. After the Kikoyo arc, episodes 27 to 33 are another section of the daily life arc, and then the Varia arc, and after the Varia arc, which is from episode 66 to episode 73, we get the last section of the daily life arc, then we head into the future arc. So there's just a different way in which they're set out, but the most important part of the daily life arc is the original 19 episodes. The daily life arc isn't really an overarching story. As the title suggests, it's a daily life arc, and it's just basically Suna gathering together the family members he needs in the Vongola, the initial part anyway, and it's just getting used to these characters and just getting to initially know them. The family members that they were introduced in the first 19 are Goku Dera, Yamamoto, Hibari, Lambo, and Ryohei. And really, they're one-off episodes, like the one where we are introduced to Lambo. There's the one where Suna wants to learn how to swim to impress Kyoko. There's what my favourite personally, which is a Chibi Goku Dera episode, one of the funniest episode Reborn's ever had. But overall, not real big story to the daily life arc, just random episodes introducing the characters that you're going to see in the rest of the show. A slower version of Senna from iShield 21. Sadawa Tsunoyoshi, the protagonist to the show, he starts off as pretty much a bit of a coward. People label him as no good Suna, someone that can never live to accomplish anything. But Suna, I really like him because he's not the stereotypical sort of shonen protagonist that, oh, I like to eat a lot, I'm really cocky, I'm stupid. He's not like one of them, and he's different. You can draw parallels to him and a few other characters, one of them being Senna from iShield 21, but he's not really that common. I like Suna because Suna's whole character comes with sort of one of the morals in Reborn, which is taking up responsibility even if you don't want to take up responsibility. And in life, we're going to have to take up responsibilities that we're not necessarily want to do. Like school may be one of them, chores, but they're things that are important to us and we have to do them. And that's the whole Suna's thing, because he has to become the 10th Mongola boss because of the inheritance and his bloodline, and he has to confront that. He really likes this girl called Kyoko, and one of the things I really like about Suna is that he has these monologues to himself about some of the crazy and wacky situations that go on. So it's pretty funny for him to just give his inside commentary to some of the crazy things that happen around him.
Chibi Goku Dera for the win.
Then we have Goku Dera, who is Suna's self-proclaimed right-hand man. Goku Dera is pretty much the fanboy of the series, which is pretty funny, and he is the funniest character in the series. The thing I like about Goku Dera is he's the smart one of the team as well, and he's got the short temper, so he tends to get pissed off with quite a few people easily. He does have respect for everyone, but he's one of those characters that doesn't like to show that he really has respect for people. One of the main people of this sort of thing relationship he has with them is Yamamoto, who kind of has a rivalry with him, but deep down we know he has a respect for him. But the two people he actually does show respect to are Reborn and Suna. Suna a lot of the time, in Reborn, yeah, most of the time he does. But it's just funny to see what Goku Dera will do next. So yeah, Goku Dera, he's a beast, and I like his style and his character design.
He hit the wall.
Now we have Yamamoto, who's like the jock of the series. You know, he's good at baseball, but Yamamoto is not like the usual jock type or good at sports type character. He doesn't think he's the shit or the best thing around, and he realizes that the only thing he's really good at is baseball, and he wants to do more than that. He wants to become good at something else, and then he finds that in swordsmanship. And Yamamoto is just a nice guy, and he kind of brings up the family when they're down. He's pretty much my favorite character. He has a really great character design, and some people don't like this, but a lot of people actually do like this. The fact that at the start of the series he thinks this whole mafia thing is the game, until he gets clued up and realizes, oh, this isn't the game, they're actually shooting guns at us and fire and all of these weapons. But overall, Yamamoto, cool character, and I can't help but like him because he's just a nice guy of the series.
To the extreme!
Ryohei is actually Kyoko's older brother. So, you know, Suna and him have that sort of weird, I'm gonna be your brother-in-law interaction. Probably not. But Ryohei is sort of like the Rock Lee sort of character. Very enthusiastic and very sort of, he has that sort of uplifting spirit to him and never give up motivation to him. His catchphrase is to the extreme, and I could just see him being played by Rock Lee's voice actor because of just the pure enthusiasm he brings. And he's sort of a boxing fanatic, so he likes, you know, later on he's going to have close to hand-to-hand combat sort of fighting situations. No, Ryohei's just, I mean, he's a pretty cool character, and I don't really have any complaints about Ryohei. To the extreme for the win.
He'll bite you to death, and no, he isn't gay, from what we've seen.
Oh, it's the Hiei Vegeta Sasuke sort of character of the series. Yeah, Hibari's the sort of dark, angsty sort of kind of one in the series. He's head of the sort of discipline committee. I think they're like hall monitors basically. Hibari, to me, he comes across as a sort of, he's an okay character. I don't think he's all that. There's another version of Hibari that is really, really badass, and I like him. His catchphrase of the series is pretty much, I'm gonna bite you to death. He wields these tonfas, which he uses, you know, to slash, not really slash people up, but just hit them, or I guess bite them to death. Hibari he's like the distant one to them. He doesn't really stay close inside. He's sort of like the external one. While everyone comes to go close like a family, he stays away, but he still is part of the overall crew, should I say. And, you know, don't get close to him or he will bite you to death.
Lambo, child!
Lambo is the kid of the series, or one of the kids, or the main kid. I don't know, it's Lambo. Lambo's 5 years old, and Lambo's more useful than he looks. You see the sort of cowish sort of character design and you think, what is this kid doing? But he actually is more useful. One of the main plot gimmicks with Lambo is the 10-year-old bazooka, which is way more important than it looks, because one thing that Lambo says in the very arc kind of foreshadows and hints to something in one of the later arcs. So Lambo is very useful, and it's very inventive having the 10-year bazooka, because what happens with it is your present self gets switched with one from 10 years later. So it's pretty cool. Lambo sort of experiments with that, and the 10-year bazooka is it's a very good plot device. That's what I'm going to say. He has a sort of weird relationship with some of the other characters. Him and Goku Dera are always going at it. He calls Goku Dera stupid Dera, but deep down he kind of likes Goku Dera, and he's really dependent on Suna, and especially Suna's mum. But Lambo, he's one of the love-hate characters in the series. You're going to love him at times, you're going to hate him, you may think he's funny, but, you know, it's Lambo. I don't think he's the funniest character, even though some people do think he's the funniest character. Honestly, the funniest character in Reborn is Goku Dera. But Lambo is Lambo.
Who said babies couldn't be badasses?
So yeah, my favorite character would probably be Reborn because first of all, he's always saying funny shit. He is like the most badass character in the whole series, especially at first. Like later on, like Suna and them, they kind of come a little more badass, but we really still haven't seen as far as Reborn can go. But he's the ultimate hitman pretty much, and he can do just about anything. He pretty much took out all the Vongolas by himself before. So he's pretty awesome. So he's my favorite because he's funny, he's cool, he's badass, he's everything you could want in an anime character. Plus his design is so unique, he's like a little baby. I mean, come on. When people told me that, like, oh, it's about babies, I was like, huh? Then once you get into it, you'll definitely understand where that is.
Other characters are mentioned in the series and the daily life arc are Suna's mom, Bianchi, who is Goku Dera's sister. And the thing is with Bianchi is that every time Goku Dera sees Bianchi, he gets scared of her because she uses poison cooking, and that's just whole story in itself, and I'd rather not explain that. There's also Kyoko, Haru, Ipin. There's a bunch of characters, but these characters aren't as important as the main family. One element you have to get used to in Reborn is the Dying Will Flames. Right at the start of the series, Dying Will Flame it's not too important. It is a gimmick used a lot, but it's not as important as it gets later on in the series when it develops and you get different types of flames, different weapons that can be used with the flames, and it becomes way more involved. But at the start of the series, it really is just Reborn hitting Suna with a dying will bullet, Suna going, oh, I have to fulfill this, you know, it's my dying will, and he does something stupid, goes into his underwear and, you know, travels around. I guess that was Akira Ismana's way of saying, if you're a girl, there's your fan service, you see Suna in his boxers, yay. I rather prefer fan service, you know, like Shira from Blue Exorcist, or Nami, or I don't know, Lucy or Ursa fan service. But if people like Suna fan service, you know, by all means, there's your Suna fan service. Also, another element in Reborn you have to get used to is the families. They are obviously the mafia. There's families, different rival families. You're going to learn about the Mulfiore, the Vongola is the family that Suna belongs to, and there is the Varia. There's a whole bunch of different families. The Vongola had 10 sort of family bosses, and the Night Vongola is the one that's saying, Suna, you have to become the next heir. But there is going to be some sort of conflict to him to become the next true Vongola, you know, boss, and you'll see that in one of the later arcs. But at the moment, you know, just remember, there's families and things happen, you know, families gonna beat each other up. Opening 1. Now, there's two versions for Opening 1. There's Opening 1 and there's Opening 1.5. Opening 1.5 is used for the next arc, so I won't really talk about that, but Opening 1, for this, which doesn't have the extra bit of changed animation, it's both openings done by the exact same thing, but there's just changed animation. But this song is Drawing Days by S-Play. That's the only way I can say the band. But anyway, me and Ozaki Rain will agree on this. Opening 1 is definitely underrated. This is a really nice song. I really do like Drawing Days, and it gives me that sort of nostalgic feeling. I don't know why, of the summers when I used to watch Reborn. It was just such a good feeling. I really love to watch Reborn. It's one of those, I don't know, I really love the Reborn anime. And then there was Ending 1. Ending 1, I can't pronounce the name or the artist, but I love this song. I don't know, it's cool because you see Suna and Reborn sitting together, and it's just, especially when you've seen all what happens in Reborn, it's very sort of a nostalgic feeling you get when you watch Ending 1, and I just like the song. It's one of those sort of hopeful songs. And then there's Ending 2. I'm not the biggest fan of Ending 2. It's okay, I guess. This is One Night Star by the Arrows. Thank God I can pronounce these names. But I mean, Ending 2, meh. At the start of Reborn, the OSTs are pretty funny. Like this, they go with the mood. Like, there's no real epic OSTs at the start, but I do like the OSTs at the start of Reborn. And the animation's solid. I mean, throughout the entire series of Reborn, The animation is pretty solid. There are points when it spikes and I think is incredible, but for the daily life arc, pretty solid animation. Okay, the dislikes and sort of flaws of the Reborn daily life arc. I'm not going to just say the flaws I personally feel. I know this is meant to be Jay's likes and Jay's dislikes, but I'm going to actually add in parts of what other people feel are wrong with the daily life arc. Loads of people feel that comedy is stupid, and comedy is a very subjective thing because we're different people, we're going to like different things, but comedy is one of those things, is very, very subjective. Like, with like character development, you may not like a character, but you can realize a character has a lot to them. Like, I always bring up the best example of this for me that I always bring up is Sasuke. A lot of people don't necessarily, I won't say a lot of people don't like Sasuke, but Sasuke is one of those characters you either love him or hate him. And people that hate Sasuke, I say to them, even though you hate Sasuke, you got to realize there's a lot to him and there's a big backstory towards Sasuke, so you have to realize he is actually a good character. And that's one of the things with comedy, it's very subjective, and I thought the humour of Reborn was I thought it was funny, but I can sometimes see why people think the humour for Reborn is pretty stupid. Another problem with the daily life arc is it's too long, and I think the anime did a better job with it, because in the manga you'll be really intimidated by 7 or 8 volumes of just pure comedy. If the comedy is good, you'll get used to it, but still at the same time, it's one of those things where that's a lot of stuff to get through just to get to the main story points, which is kind of annoying, because when I reviewed Gintama Season 1, in Gintama Season 1, the comedy in Gintama was good, but the thing is, they built on the characters more than I think they built on the characters in Daily Life Arc. You could see character development for the characters in Season 1 of Gintama, even though it was very comedy based. That changes in Season 2, by the way, but it gets more involved. That's all I'm going to say, more story. But like the comedy, I mean, it's one of those things, and the fact that it doesn't get into story for a while, as I said, I feel the anime did handle it better because it sort of segregated it, so you had to wait a bit less to get to the Kikoyo arc, but at the same time, it's kind of a flaw, the fact that you have to wait a bit less, but after that, instead of going straight onto the very arc, you're like, oh, comedy episodes, and then after the very arc, you're just all pumped and hyped, and then, ooh, let's have some more daily life arc, and then you get into the future arc and all that stuff. But I mean, slow start as well, so I mean, it's one of those things. It's a pretty slow start, doesn't get straight into it. Those are really my dislikes, should I say. Now there's Jay's likes. I like the comedy in Reborn. I like the introduction of the characters. I also liked the setting. I thought the setting, the school atmosphere was really cool. I mean, it isn't the most original place to set action shonen, but I like the atmosphere. I like Nami Mori or whatever it's called. I don't know. Going back on the daily life arc, I didn't really get annoyed. It was one of those things where I actually felt refreshed seeing the daily life arc. I didn't mind seeing the comedy. It was fine. I don't really have any big likes or hate towards the daily life arc. Daily life is one of those arcs where you either I hate it or it's and quite a few people drop Reborn or just get tired of it after seeing this arc, and they don't go on to the rest of the stuff, which is a shame. And I think that's Akira Amano, man. You should have made it a bit shorter, I would say that. But I mean, it's not horrible, and I personally did enjoy it. I will give the daily life arc a C-. It wasn't average yet. It was below average, but it wasn't a D at all. I don't think it was a D. I enjoyed the daily life arc. Well, this has been the arc review for the daily life arc. There will be more season/arc reviews coming up for certain series, and I do have a lot planned, so you will be seeing a lot of your, favourite ongoing series getting reviewed here. But if you want to, you can feel free to put down the comments below of what series you want me to do, because if a series is getting more people want that to series, if more people want me to do a certain series, I'll put that one in priority before another series. So just be wary of that. But Anyway, J-Man's Productions on the Jzone. Live and learn, good luck and God bless. Catch me in the Gintama Season 2 review. I approve, I like Gintama Season 2. And the Kikoya Arc review very soon. Peace.